A lot of those relationships weren't as dramatic as they made them out to be. But yeah, I've known a lot of men, and I plan on knowing a lot more.
Country music has always given us stars, voices that carried our heartbreak and our hope. But behind the spotlight, there were darker whispers. Whispers that some of these stars didn't just sing their way to fame. They charmed, seduced, and sometimes scandalized their way through to the top of the country music industry. Prepare to be shocked as we unveil 15 old country music stars who slept their way to fame. From whispered liaisons with producers to alleged affairs with industry power brokers, these stories expose the side of country music you were never supposed to hear. Let's start with Tanya Tucker.
Just didn't listen.
Tanya Tucker rose to fame as a teenager, her voice husky with experience far beyond her years. But the rumors that swirled around her early career had little to do with her talent. Whispers in Nashville suggested that Tanya's rapid rise wasn't just fueled by her songs, it was propelled by her affairs with powerful men in the business. Her relationship with Glenn Campbell, decades her senior, dominated headlines and scandal sheets. Some insisted that her connection to him opened doors in the industry that might otherwise have stayed closed. Though Tanya always pushed back against the gossip, the stories persisted. People close to the scene claimed she had entanglements with executives who used both her talent and her beauty to their advantage. In an era when female stars had to fight for every scrap of respect, Tanya's name became a battlefield of speculation. Was she an extraordinary talent being unfairly smeared, or a young woman navigating fame through whatever doors she could find open? She was accused of being reckless with her image, flaunting her relationships instead of hiding them, which only added fuel to the fire. Every time she walked into a room, the whispers followed, turning her career into both a triumph and a scandal. Her legacy today rests on her undeniable music, but the rumors remain an indelible part of her story. They remind us that even for a powerhouse like Tanya Tucker, the cost of success was tangled up in whispers of scandal that shadowed her brightest moments. Up next, we have Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is one of country music's most beloved figures, a genius songwriter, a businesswoman, and a philanthropist. Yet, even Dolly wasn't immune to the salacious gossip of Nashville. For decades, rumors claimed that Dolly's rise was greased by more than just talent. Her early partnership with Porter Wagoner fueled endless speculation. Their on-stage chemistry was electric, but behind the scenes, whispers claimed it was far more than professional. Industry insiders at the time suggested that Wagoner, already a star, gave Dolly opportunities in exchange for intimacy. The stories spread through Nashville like wildfire. Though Dolly consistently denied them, she admitted that the relationship was deeply complicated, full of both love and exploitation. Her marriage to Carl Dean, who stayed largely out of the spotlight, did little to silence the rumors. Some even cruelly joked that Dean was a cover for Dolly's real relationships within the business. The gossip threatened to overshadow her artistry, yet Dolly transformed even the ugliest rumors into triumph. Her song, "I Will Always Love You," was not just a farewell to Wagoner, it was a declaration of independence. Still, the whispers linger in her legacy. They remind us how the music industry so often sought to reduce even the brightest stars to sordid stories of who they were rumored to be sleeping with. Even today, when Dolly is recognized as one of the most influential women in American culture, those early scandals remain an inescapable part of her rise. Following that, we have Tammy Wynette.
He just loved me.
Tammy Wynette's voice defined an era, aching, vulnerable, and powerful all at once. But behind the voice that sang, "Stand by Your Man," Tammy was surrounded by scandals of her own. Nashville insiders whispered that Tammy often leveraged her relationships with influential men to secure opportunities. Her tumultuous marriage to George Jones grabbed headlines, but long before that, there were quiet murmurs that her career had been boosted by her connections with producers who saw more than just talent in her. In a business where women were often treated as currency, Tammy's personal life became a subject of constant speculation. Some claimed she entertained liaisons with label executives in exchange for prime recording slots and radio play. Whether fair or cruelly exaggerated, these rumors haunted her. Tammy herself admitted to using her charm and femininity to get ahead, though she stopped short of confirming the darker insinuations. The result was a career always marked by contradiction. Tammy sang about loyalty and sacrifice while her own life was riddled with betrayals and whispers of scandal. Even as she became a household name, the shadow of those rumors followed her to her grave, complicating the story of one of country's most unforgettable stars. To this day, some argue that her success was tarnished by those stories, while others insist she was unfairly smeared by an industry eager to undermine women. Now, let's turn to Loretta Lynn.
He puts it in a garbage can.
Loretta Lynn was the coal miner's daughter who fought her way to the top of Nashville. Her story was supposed to be one of grit, resilience, and triumph. But even Loretta couldn't escape the cruel whisper networks of the industry. Some gossiped that her rise was helped by close relationships with producers who were smitten with her beauty and fire. Her natural talent was undeniable, but in an era when male executives controlled every door, the rumors painted Loretta as someone who didn't just knock. She allegedly charmed her way through. Stories floated of secret liaisons, though few were ever proven. What made them stick was the contrast between Loretta's image as a traditional wife and mother and the insinuations of affairs behind the scenes. Her music about domestic struggles made her relatable to women across the nation, yet Nashville insiders whispered that her private life was far more complicated. Loretta always brushed off such gossip with humor, but it remained part of her legend. The scandalous edge only added to her aura, making her both admired and envied in equal measure. For every fan who saw her as a role model, there were rivals who spread rumors that her climb to fame was paved not only with songs, but also with seduction. Even after her death, her story remains tangled up in both admiration and gossip, cementing her as a figure forever caught between triumph and scandal. Coming up next is Patsy Cline. Patsy Cline was a force of nature, her voice haunting and unforgettable. But her short life was filled with both triumph and scandal. Rumors swirled that Patsy wasn't just singing her way into history. She was allegedly entangled with several married men in the industry, some of whom held the power to advance her career. Her marriage to Charlie Dick was famously volatile, marked by fights and infidelities on both sides. Insiders whispered that Patsy used her beauty and charm to sway producers and radio men, ensuring her music was played and promoted. Whether true or not, these stories made her the subject of endless gossip in Nashville. The cruelest part of these rumors was how they clashed with her artistry. Patsy's music carried the raw ache of love and heartbreak, yet her private life was whispered about in tones of scandal. After her tragic death in a plane crash, the rumors only intensified, fans and rivals alike speculating on the relationships she might have used to carve her place in history. Her legacy as one of the greatest voices in country remains untouchable, but the whispers about how she climbed that ladder have never truly gone silent. They hang over her legend like an unfinished verse, complicating how she is remembered even decades later. Next on the list is Barbara Mandrell. Barbara Mandrell's image was clean-cut, family-friendly, polished, and almost too perfect. But the darker corners of Nashville buzzed with gossip that Barbara wasn't nearly as saintly behind the curtain. Some claimed that her television stardom and chart dominance weren't purely the result of her hard work and talent, but also of intimate connections with network executives and industry gatekeepers. In a field that often punished women for ambition, Barbara's drive stood out, yet her very determination made her the target of rumors. Industry rivals suggested that she used her charm and relationships strategically, stepping into powerful beds as well as boardrooms. Others accused her of having affairs with married men who had the power to make or break her television career. While no one ever proved these claims, the whispers spread wide enough to stain her squeaky clean image. Her family-oriented public persona clashed so violently with the rumors that they became almost irresistible for Nashville gossips to repeat. Was Barbara the wholesome star she portrayed, or was that just a mask hiding the compromises she allegedly made? Fans may have adored Barbara for her wholesome persona, but insiders viewed her story with more suspicion. Her place at the top was seen by some as evidence not just of talent, but of a woman who allegedly played the industry at its own dirty game. Her legacy is one of immense artistry, but also one clouded by gossip that refused to let her image rest in peace. Moving along, Kitty Wells. Kitty Wells was hailed as the queen of country music, the first woman to truly break through in a male-dominated field. Yet even her story wasn't free from shadow. Nashville insiders whispered that her rise to fame was aided by intimate liaisons with influential men who were captivated not only by her voice, but by her allure. In an era when women's careers were often controlled by men, Kitty's ascent seemed almost too remarkable to some. Instead of celebrating her, rivals spread gossip that she had slept her way into the spotlight. They claimed her relationship with certain producers gave her advantages other women could only dream of. Her reserved public demeanor only fueled the whispers, suggesting that what she hid behind closed doors was far more scandalous than her polished image revealed. For every fan who saw her as the pure-hearted queen of country, there were rivals who insisted that her crown was bought with whispered affairs rather than earned through sheer artistry. Kitty herself never addressed these rumors directly, choosing instead to focus on her music. But the fact that even the queen of country wasn't immune to such accusations shows just how pervasive and cruel the culture of gossip was. Her crown came with whispers of scandal she never asked for, but could never shake. Continuing on, Reba McEntire.
I've got nothing.
Reba McEntire became one of the most powerful women in country music, but power comes with its price. Behind the scenes, rivals claimed her rise was not purely the result of her formidable talent. Some insiders whispered that Reba cultivated close, intimate relationships with industry leaders who helped shape her path. Her charm and ambition were undeniable, but those very qualities were twisted into gossip. Rumors alleged that Reba strategically used her relationships to secure better contracts, tours, and opportunities. Others claimed that her personal life, including rumored affairs with powerful figures in Nashville, was the real engine behind her career's momentum. Though she always denied such talk, the whispers lingered. In a male-dominated business, Reba's dominance seemed suspicious to those unwilling to accept that a woman could climb so high without paying a personal price. Every major milestone in her career was dogged by whispers of favoritism, scandal, or seduction. For Reba, the rumors were both a burden and a testament to her impact. They followed her, even as she built a career that would become legendary, showing how deeply the industry sought to undermine ambitious women by tying their success to scandal. Another name you need to hear, June Carter Cash.
My eyes are filled with tears.
June Carter Cash was part of one of country's most famous love stories, her marriage to Johnny Cash. But long before that, June's name was tied to scandal. Whispers swirled through Nashville that June had been romantically involved with multiple men in the industry, using her connections to secure opportunities for her career. Her marriage to Carl Smith, followed by her connection to Johnny, only added fuel to the fire. The rumors painted June as someone who maneuvered through powerful men to sustain her presence in a business that was rarely kind to women. Some insiders claimed her relationship with Johnny was born out of an affair that destroyed his first marriage, further fueling speculation about her reputation. Whether fair or cruel, these stories stuck. To some, she was a loyal partner who saved Johnny from his demons. To others, she was a woman who built her career on strategic romances. Every triumph of her career seemed accompanied by a shadow of gossip. Her legacy today is forever linked to Johnny, but the whispers remind us that her own career was shadowed by accusations that she climbed to fame on the coattails of lovers, as much as on her own merit. Now let's turn to Crystal Gayle. Crystal Gayle's silky voice and iconic hair made her a star in her own right, but the road to fame was steep and filled with whispers. Some Nashville insiders alleged that Crystal's career was aided by intimate connections with industry figures who were captivated by her beauty. Even as the sister of Loretta Lynn, she was accused of securing her own path, by using relationships strategically. The gossip painted her as someone who knew how to use charm as much as talent. Some rivals even suggested she used her romantic entanglements to set herself apart from her famous sister, ensuring she wouldn't just live in Loretta's shadow. Though Crystal never acknowledged such rumors, they circulated widely enough to tarnish her reputation among insiders. For fans, her music was mesmerizing, but for critics, her success seemed too conveniently paved with the help of powerful men. Her story reflects how, even when a woman was part of a country dynasty, her achievements were diminished by gossip. Her legacy remains one of artistry, but the rumors show just how little control female stars had over the narratives written about them. Even when talent was obvious, whispers of scandal clung to every step of their journey. Coming up next is Dottie West. Dottie West's career was built on her ability to convey vulnerability and strength in equal measure. But behind that image were constant whispers that Dottie used her relationships with influential men to secure opportunities. Her partnerships with Kenny Rogers and others fueled gossip that their collaborations weren't purely professional. Industry insiders spread rumors that Dottie's charm and beauty opened as many doors as her voice did. Some claimed she entertained affairs with executives to keep her career alive during lean years, especially in the 1970s when her chart success faltered. Others suggested she turned to her personal relationships to stay relevant in a business that was always ready to replace her with someone younger. Whether true or not, these stories overshadowed her genuine contributions to country music. She was more than a voice. She was a trailblazer. Yet gossip threatened to reduce her to little more than her rumored liaisons. Dottie's tragic death in a car accident sealed her as a beloved figure, but the rumors never completely faded. Instead, they became part of her story, another reminder of how often women in country were judged not only by their music, but by their supposed relationships with men in power. Following that, we have Shepard. Shepard was known for her fiery spirit and sharp tongue, but that very fire also made her the subject of gossip. Rivals whispered that Jean climbed her way through the Nashville ranks with the help of powerful men smitten by her. Her bold personality and unwillingness to play the submissive role made her a target for rumors of scandal. Stories circulated that she used affairs with industry leaders to secure her place on the charts and the Opry stage. Some even alleged that her battles with executives were softened by her ability to turn rivals into lovers. While never confirmed, the persistence of such gossip showed how threatening her independence was in a male-dominated world. For every barrier she broke, Nashville seemed eager to drag her back down, with whispers about her private life. Yet Jean never bowed to those narratives. She fought them with music, with persistence, and with her unrelenting fire. Jean's legacy is one of resilience, but her name remains tied to the rumors that shadowed so many women who dared to climb too high in country music. Next on the list is Lynn Anderson. Lynn Anderson's Rose Garden made her a household name, but behind the sweet voice and glamorous image were darker whispers. Nashville insiders claimed that Lynn maintained intimate connections with producers and executives who helped keep her career afloat. Some insisted that her beauty and charm were as much a currency as her music. Her relationships were often the subject of gossip, with rivals suggesting she used her romantic life to maintain her place in the spotlight. Some even went as far as to claim that certain industry leaders favored her at the expense of other female artists, fueling resentment in Nashville circles. Though Lynn never publicly addressed such rumors, they followed her for decades, complicating her legacy. Fans adored her music, but within the industry, the whispers told a different story, one of ambition entangled with scandal. To some, she was a brilliant star who deserved every ounce of success. To others, she was a woman who allegedly played the industry's dirtiest game. Even today, Lynn's success is remembered alongside the rumors that haunted her. Her place in history is secure, but the gossip shows just how much women in country had to endure to hold on to fame. Another name you need to hear, Connie Smith. Connie Smith's voice was pure and powerful, winning her legions of fans. Yet behind the purity of her music, rumors of scandal swirled. Some in Nashville claimed that Connie had intimate relationships with influential figures who helped shape her career. Her beauty and charm made her a favorite target of gossip, with rivals insisting she traded more than just talent for opportunities. Her image as a wholesome star only made the gossip sting more. Fans saw her as the girl next door, while insiders spread darker stories of liaisons behind closed doors. Others accused her of having affairs with married men in the industry, using those connections to boost her place in a competitive field. Though never proven, the rumors were repeated often enough to become part of her legacy. Connie's career speaks for itself, but her name remains tied to the whispers of scandal that haunted nearly every woman who dared to shine too brightly in Nashville. Her story is not just one of musical success, but also one of a woman forced to navigate a world eager to define her by rumor instead of by her talent. And finally, Minnie Pearl.
I saw on the mountainside when I looked down below.
Minnie Pearl was one of the most recognizable figures in country music, beloved for her comedy, her charm, and her signature, howdy. For audiences, she represented joy, innocence, and humor. But behind the laughter, Nashville insiders whispered about a different story. Some claimed Minnie wasn't just a stage act. She was also a savvy strategist who used her personal relationships to remain a fixture at the Grand Ole Opry for decades. The rumors alleged that Minnie cultivated intimate connections with industry leaders, powerful men who could ensure she kept her prime spots on the radio and on stage. Though her persona was goofy and lighthearted, behind the curtain, she was said to be calculating, knowing exactly which relationships to nurture. Some even suggested that her longevity in the business, far longer than many female contemporaries, wasn't just the result of talent or popularity, but of whispered liaisons that guaranteed her relevance. Her wholesome, comedic image made the gossip even more tantalizing. Could the beloved Minnie Pearl, who made America laugh, really have played the industry's dirtiest game to stay at the top? While no evidence ever confirmed the claims, the stories persisted in backrooms and bars across Nashville. To her critics, she was more than just a comic genius. She was a woman who allegedly leveraged every tool at her disposal, including her sexuality, to remain untouchable. Yet, Minnie's legacy remains enduring. She paved the way for women in country entertainment, breaking barriers through comedy and charisma. But like so many of her peers, her story is shadowed by gossip that refuses to die. The whispers remind us that even the brightest smiles often hid the darkest rumors in Nashville's unforgiving world. Which of these wild love stories shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories from country music's hidden past. And before you go, check out the other videos on your screen. You won't want to miss them.